So, good morning, student. Today I have decided to discuss a very unique topic under the subject of agriculture, finance, and cooperation. That topic related with the AFC, and that is that financial management in agribusiness management. And then we'll start the discussion on several issues like that we'll have discussed the things, and I'll share that one that is thing that is very important, that by what I will share, and that is there. You please just wait, and then we'll have a no. It is not like that. Under financial management of agribusiness management, under this we'll discuss the so many important things, and that objectives are very clear, that vision agribusiness and all will discuss today under this subject. So now I think that the voice was not clear. That's why I have decided to change this thing. So now let us have first discussion on the international trade and its introduction. International trade is the exchange of capital, goods, and services across the international borders of territory. It means it is a trade in between two countries, or it means in between the two different territories of ruled by two different people, two different rulers. Trading partners reap mutual gains when each nation specializes in goods for which is hold a comparative advantage and then engages in trade for other products. In other words, each nation should produce goods for which its domestic opportunity costs are lower than the domestic opportunity cost of other nation, and exchange those goods for products that they have the higher domestic opportunity cost compared to other nations. So this is the reason. That's why there is a transition of product or service in between the countries, in between the nations, that the opportunity cost of if a product is less in a particular country, then this product or these services can be taken by the other country, and whatever the opportunity cost is lesser in the same country, the other country can also borrow this thing. So this kind of transaction is being called as a international trade. Now, reason for international trade. Countries benefit when they specialize in producing goods for which they have a comparative advantage and engage in trade for other goods. Yes, of course, if suppose we don't have that goods or the services which somebody is producing at a cheaper price, so we'll go for that. And whatever the cheaper price we are having in our kitty, we'll give them in exchange of that. So this kind of that situation, whether because the all the product or services are not being produced by a single country or by a single organization. So in that case, there is a transaction of that kind of that thing. Sorry. So to whom we are calling the international. Key points As far as international trade is concerned, exchange of capital, goods, and services across international border territory. First thing. Then each nation should produce goods which its in domestic opportunity costs are lower. Then only the transaction can be carried out. Because if you don't have anything to offer, then this trade is not possible. So because each one has to have a lesser opportunity product or services with them, then only the exchange of that commodity or services or product can be done in between two countries. So each nation should produce goods which its domestic opportunity costs are lower than the domestic opportunity cost of other nations, and exchange those goods for products that have higher domestic opportunity product as compared to other nations. So this is the situation. That's why when the country feel that this why not I go for that if I'll produce this thing or this service over here, if it is costing more, then why not that I'll borrow that thing from somebody else who is producing at a cheaper rate. So and whatever cheaper rate I am producing, if both have the understanding of exchanging these things, then only the international trade can be possible. So benefits of trade include lower prices and better products for consumers, improved political ties among nations, and efficiency gain for domestic producers. Comparatively advantage. The ability of a party to produce a particular good or service at a lower marginal or opportunity cost over another. This is the comparative advantage. That's why because of that reason only this can happen. Now, in addition to comparative advantage, other reasons for trade includes number one, difference in other than the comparative advantage. There are certain other reasons. Because of that, there is a possibility of trade. Let us have a discussion on that them one by one. Difference in factor and domain. Countries have different amounts of land, labor, and capital. Saudi Arabia may have a lot of oil, but perhaps not enough lumber. It thus it will thus have to trade for lumber. Japan may be able to produce technological goods of superior quality at a cheaper price, but it may lack many natural resources, many agricultural products. They can't produce at because of the scarcity of land and because of the certain other reasons, environmental condition or like that. So it may trade with Indonesia or India or any other country, those who are having the commodities, those they are being required. Then the gains from specialization. Yes, this is also the second reason. That's why the possibility of international trade being caused. That countries may gain economy of scale from specialization, experiencing long run average cost decline as output increases. Then the political benefits. Countries, because sometimes to earn not to earn the money, but to earn the political mileage, the countries they are doing this such type of that international transactions to whom we are calling the international trade. Countries can leverage trade to forge closer cultural and political bonds. International connections also help promote diplomatic rather than military solutions to international problems, just like we are doing in the Afghanistan. But we are not taking anything from them. Whatever we are doing, we are investing over there just only to uplift the social and the economic life of these people and to uplift the all to the human right of to protect the human right of those people, because we are whatever we are giving them or we are investing them, that is not the investment actually, it's a grant actually. So we are not expecting anything else from them. So this kind of situation is also there to leverage the political gain. Sometimes we are doing this kind of thing. Then the efficiency gain. Domestic firms be forced to become more efficient in order to be competitive in the global market. That's why sometimes we are doing this kind of thing, to whom we are calling the transaction or international trade. Benefit of increasing competition. Sometimes to increase the competition, a greater degree of competition leads to lower price for customers, greater responsiveness to consumer want and needs, and a wider variety of products. So this is also the reason that these are the 4 5 reasons those we have discussed: the difference in factor of endowment, gain from specialization, political benefits, efficiency gain, then the efficient benefit of increased competition. So these are the reasons. They are the other reasons other than the comparative cost. That lesser comparative cost is one of the and the comparative advantages. The reason why we have, because of them, generally we have international trade, but these five reasons are also there. Sometimes because of them, one or two or all, because of them, sometimes the trade or transaction in between two countries, two nations is observed sometimes. So to summarize, international trade benefits mostly all incumbent and generate substantial value for the global economy. That is why we have opportunity to that kind of things. Now we'll understand the absolute advantage. Let us, because that thing which we have discussed already. So the capability of to produce more of a given product using less of or of a given resource than a competitive entry. Absolute advantage refers to the ability of a country to produce goods or more efficiently than other countries. That's why we can say that I am producing this product at this rate which is lesser to the other country. So this is the absolute advantage. If they are producing this thing at anything which is they want to have international transaction, they can say that this is the thing that thing which I am producing comparatively at a less price. So I have that advantage. Then produce goods with lower marginal cost, fewer material, material in less time, with fewer workers, with cheaper workers, etc. So absolute advantage differs from the competitive advantage, which refers to the ability of a country to produce specific goods at a lower opportunity cost. But this is not that. The absolute advantage is little bit different than the competitive or comparative advantage. According to a country with absolute advantage can sell the goods for less than a country that does not have the absolute advantage. For example, the Canadian economy, which is rich in the low-cost land, has an absolute advantage in agricultural production relative to some other countries. China and other Asian economies export low-cost manufacturing goods, which take advantage of their much lower unit labor cost. That's why they can do this thing. So here we have this example that A and B, there are two parties. That one first one, they are producing A at 5 rupees, then the second one is producing 3 rupees, then the B is producing that amount, that product in 10 rupees, then the number of 10, the three employees are there. So in that case we can say that the B is having the absolute advantage over the A. So that thing we can say from this example. Then the key points of the absolute advantage. A country that has an absolute advantage can produce a good at lower marginal cost. A country with absolute advantage can sell the good for less than the country that does not have the absolute advantage. Absolute advantage differs from the comparative advantage, which refers to the ability to produce a specific good at a lower opportunity cost. So there is a difference in between the absolute advantage and the comparative cost. Now, production possibility frontier (PPF), a graph that shows the combinations of two commodities that could be produced using same total amount of each of the factors of production. It shows the maximum possible production level of one commodity for any production level of another, given the existing levels of the factors of production and the state of technology. Comparative versus competitive advantage. It is important to distinguish between comparative advantage and competitive advantage. Though they sound similar, they are different concepts. Unlike competitive advantage refers to distinguish attribute of a company or a product. It may not be have anything to do with opportunity cost or efficiency. For example, having good brand recognition or relationship with the suppliers is a competitive advantage, but not a comparative advantage. In context of the international trade, we more often discuss the comparative advantage, not the competitive advantage. Absolute advantage versus comparative advantage. Absolute advantage refers to difference in productivity of nations, while comparative advantage refers to the difference in the opportunity cost. So this is the basic difference in between the absolute advantage and the comparative advantage. Now, difference between absolute advantage and comparative advantage. The producer that require a small quantity input to produce a good is said to be have an absolute advantage in producing that good. Comparative advantage refer to the ability of a party to produce a particular good or service at a lower opportunity cost than another. That's why here the comparison is there. Then the existence of comparative advantage always allows both parties to benefit from trading because each party will receive a good at a price that is lower than its opportunity cost of producing the good. That's why we have opportunity to that international trade or international market. So these are the few things those we have discussed over here, and now I think we have a clarity about the concept of international trade. It's a generally the trade in between the two two nations. In between the two nations, it's a transaction of business, it's a transaction of product or services because one the transaction is only being take place when the opportunity cost of a nation is lower in the variety of the product. Then they can easily they can easily transfer the product or service to each other which they are producing at the comparatively lesser advantage cost. That's lesser advantage cost. So that's why the transaction being carried out. And then we have also already discussed. Then we have also discussed few reasons of that why the international trade other than this opportunity cost, the difference in the factor of endowment and the gain from speculation, political benefits, efficiency gain, benefit of increasing competition. These are the few other things that because of that we found that the international trade being carried out. So this is from my side. Thank you very much, and I hope you have understanding, and we will discuss this thing once again if you have any query. So good morning. Today we have decided to discuss the SWOT analysis concept, meaning and advantage. Concept and meaning we have discussed in broader sense in the lab. So now today we'll have a little bit discussion on the primary discussion on the meaning concept, and we'll the what are actually how to and the basic concept of SWOT in the entrepreneurship management advantage with advantage and example. So we will look in let's have first actually the SWOT actually. To innovate, an entrepreneur has to make a diagnosis of current situation. The diagnosis of current situation is done by conducting an internal analysis and external analysis of the organization or business which he is running. So analysis of external and internal the environment together is called SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis refers to identify weakness, opportunities, threats of an organization. So nowadays the weaknesses, this word is generally not being used in public platform because we are that weakness. We are using the word area improvement. Strength and weakness, they are the internal actually the factors those who are being analyzed properly by the managers and the organization heads those who are they are running the organization. Then the opportunities and threats, they are the external factors actually. What are the opportunities in front of that organization is there? Let us have a analysis of all the opportunities, and then what are the threats? Sometimes because of the competition, sometimes because of the price, sometimes because of the environmental threats, sometimes because of the natural disasters. These they are considered very well in this segment of external analysis. So this is all about the SWOT. Now let us have an advantage. The first we will have a little bit brief discussion over the SWOT. The internal analysis of organization will cover the organizational position with respect to different functional case areas like production, finance, marketing, R&D, distribution, and so and so on. So these all are the actually they are the internal that aspects those who are being addressed in the internal analysis, and to whom we are also calling the strength and the area of improvement or the weaknesses. More specifically, this may look into a company's sales volume, market share, profitability, and so on. This will reveal its strength and the weakness. So internal analysis is nothing; it is just internal assessment, internal that analysis of the all the strength organization is having and what are the weaknesses organization is lacking with them, or area of improvement those who are required to perform better in future course of action. Then the external scanning of business environment to identify any threat and opportunity posed on company, its product or services. More especially, this will include the industry performance, competitive activities, and review of growth and decline of user industries. So all these they are the part of this particular external analysis, to whom we are calling the what are the opportunity in front of that organization and what are the threats those they are facing either by the computer or by so this is a brief discussion about the internal and external that factors those who are responsible for SWOT analysis. Now, the advantage of SWOT analysis. Why we will have this? What are the advantages? So the advantage of for conducting SWOT analysis for innovating are an entrepreneur can know which field there is a demand and can venture into that respective field, keeping their strength and mind in mind. So through the SWOT analysis, while the organization going through the strength of the organization, they will in which sector they allocate their resources. So that finally they have the maximum profit out of it. So that is why the strength of internal assessment is very much required. Now it helps in the development of new technology. If we will do the proper analysis that at where actually we are as far as the technical aspect is concerned, as far as the technological upliftment is concerned, if we are using the same machinery, same that outdated technology, then definitely our productivity, our efficiency affected. So that can be improved by the entrepreneur if he'll have a proper SWOT analysis. An entrepreneur can make an analysis as to develop a completely new product or to just change the existing product, because through this all the things that what particular product is doing, whether it is beneficial or not, what is the whether it is OTC or not, what is the situation of product he sees and product he is not interested with because of the lost generation or because of the less profit as compared to others. So what new he can do? He can have only through the strength and the proper analysis of the strength and the area where we can have a little bit more pressure to come out that the area of improvement into the strength. All these things they are very important. Entrepreneur. And can be an improvement brought about in the process of in what way actually what is the entire process which we are using to produce a particular product or service. If we analyze properly that what are other means, what are the other resources available in the market, on what basis he can have for the implement of his business, he can at his own. So these are few that the advantages so they are there, and on the basis of that he can have a little bit idea that what he can do better in future course of action. So there can be improvement brought about in the process of production. So if he understood that if we analyze properly that the process actually is using at present and what can be brought from outside, from upgradation in technology or factors, all they all are options those who are available after for survey and analysis. So he can have opportunity to improve the business in this way. Then, on the basis of information collected through SWOT analysis, the goal which the firm wants to achieve in future can be decided. Yes, and they can be decided in a that ultimately the organization is having their prospects in future. So all they can be framed, and what are the strategy which is required to achieve all these objectives and goals can be formed and can be executed in future course of action, and all the stakeholders we can decide that who is responsible for what to do, when to do, how to do, all these things they can further that include and can be decided through the proper SWOT analysis. Short-term mission and long-term mission of the organization can be formed. So yeah, this is also the very common thing that short-term means they are the objectives, because objectives they are the short-term actually. The short-term, the time-bound that the activities those who are being decided to achieve a long-term, finally to achieve the final that destination to whom we are calling the goal. So they all can be decided over here after the proper SWOT analysis by the person who is running the organization, or by the manager, those who are having the objectives with them, or those who are having vision and mission of the organization in their hand, and they are all to achieve that vision and mission of the organization is assigned to them. So that can be easily decided by analysis, if which can be done performed by the organization. Then the alternate can be selected and decided to exploit opportunities and face threats in the environment. Yes, this alternate can be used. What are the other resources which we are having in our hand? We do proper that threat analysis, and we'll have all the pictures. The picture is very clear in front of us, that what are the additional resources which we are having, or what can be the other resources those we can have. We can buy them from the existing scenario, or away from the source which is where they are available, and that can be utilized for the betterment of the organization, and for address threats to those. This can be altered, and they can be, and in the, then the priorities can goal and courses of action goal can be timed. That's yes, because the through proper analysis we can have the plan, the which assignment we can complete under 1 year, 1 month, or like that. So that can be easily framed, and for the communication and implementation of plan. Yes, this through proper strategies, when we have a strength of every that each and every stakeholder in the business, either it's a representative, accounts person, production person, promotional person, all and so on. If we have all these strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats in 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 in, in front of us, then we can have a better idea that how we can facilitate whatever the objectives and goals which we have decided for different stakeholders. So that can be achieved. We can plan easily that if we have all the things in front of us. Then the major function and sub-functions can be determined in the achieving the objective of the firm. Yes, we can do that. What are the priority? We can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. We can decide that these are things that we'll do first. Then these are the things then we'll do second. Then the remaining things we'll do in the last. So that we can decide that there is no confusion while we are marching towards our objective and goal. It means what we that we have planned properly. That second, if into the parking lot. So when the time will come. So there is no unnecessary confusion between any in the stakeholders in the business. I mentioned range of service, and yes, if we have proper that strength in front of us, if we have that all in front of us, that can begin to extension that we can have different business. Part if you have proper just having this sort of- so all these things they can be do they can be done if he have that realize in the benefit of the each stakeholder and finally for the organization. The social, political, legal, economic, technological factors can going on in the entire political arena of the country, in the political arena of the world. So now business in the Taliban, in the Afghanistan, because the geopolitical situation is disturbing. So any organization, if he is planning, if he has that information, this area is because of that disturbances. So they not put the capital in that area, because capital is a thing which is required to create further capital, to capital. So these social, political, and legal, economic, technological factors can be analyzed properly. While we are analyzing the SWOT analysis, what are the rules and regulations of government? Sometimes the government, for to attract the industry, they issue certain regulations, guidelines that will give the incentives. We will give the relaxation in the taxes. So on the basis of that, we can have immediately, if we have all the if we have all we'll take the notice of all these activities going on in and or and around in our business. So we can plan accordingly, and we can have the maximum profit opportunity in front of us. Then the analysis and competitors' strategy can be made, and their policies can be known. So through that proper survey, we can have the idea that what or others are doing. On the basis of that, we can restructure our strategy, we can restructure our tactics, we can restructure our planning. All the things we can do when if we have a proper that SWOT analysis. What others are doing, if we see, then we can decide the pace of our promotional strategy, our production strategy, our the pack shot that those we are providing in the market. So all these we can design, and we can facilitate all the things in the interest of the organization if we have a proper that SWOT analysis in front of us. So these are the important things. They are the advantage of the SWOT analysis. Those I have discussed with you. And now on the basis of that, I'll discuss few questions that they are also very important that directly concerned with this particular the topic of the SWOT analysis. So first one is that which of the following SWOT elements internal factor for a business? So we know that the strength and weakness, these are the internal factor of the SWOT analysis. Then which of the following false regarding why SWOT analysis is used? So to reduce the opportunities available to a business, this is a false statement actually, which is not acceptable while we are doing the SWOT analysis. How often should SWOT analysis be performed? At least once in a year we have to do this activity for appraisal purpose, for all the budgeting and all, because generally we are doing all the things for a year. We are also filing the balance sheet for a year. We are also profit and loss statements. All we are generating profit and loss statement. Definitely we are collecting for every month. But we can have, because balance sheet is nothing. It is just the balance of liabilities and assets on a particular day. So of any firm. So these all things, they are very important, and definitely we have to do at least this SWOT analysis, entire SWOT analysis of the organization at least once in a year. Then which of the following could be strength? The location of a business. If our location is nearby the city, then it's a strength for the organization. So location of business is also a strength for a particular organization. It may sometimes be weakness if we are not having the business in a proper located area where we required. So then it will turn out into the area of improvement. So this is the kind of that strength. if location is suitable to the business, then this become the strength. Which of the following could be a weakness? Poor quality of goods and services. That this could be an area of improvement. If we are producing poor quality or bad quality that or material or services, if we are not providing the services, if a company like that, Blue Dart or First Flight or like that, if these companies they are not delivering their meals on time to the customers, then ultimately it can be treated as they are the company, they need to be improve their in the services. So this is the weakness of this is being called as a weakness or area of improvement for the organization. Which of the following could be opportunity? Moving into new market segment that offer improved profits, yes, to whom we can say it is the opportunity. Then which of the following could be a threat? Yes, you can understood that changes in technology. Yes, if we are using the same old and outdated technology, that then our product the cost of production will definitely on higher side, and ultimately we are losing the profit. So if we don't change that technical on technical aspect, then we are at the end of the where we are losing the business. So this is absolutely the change in technology is also a threat. Then who conducts a SWOT analysis for business? Yes, those managers, those they are there. They conduct the SWOT analysis, and in front of when they do the SWOT analysis, production department, the manager who is responsible for that, he conduct the SWOT analysis for his department. Sales and marketing, they conduct the SWOT analysis for their team. Then the other legal department and the other administrative department, they also do the SWOT analysis. And then finally, the general manager who analyze all the department that department-wise strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. And on the basis of that, he can launch the plan for future course of action. So managers in any organization, they generally do this thing for the organization. So now I think I have completed this thing. And if you have further any question, you please ask. कोई क्वेश्चन हो तो पूछिए आप. If you have any question, you please ask. Yes, Naman. Naman, do you have any question? Good morning, student. Today we have decided to discuss a very important topic. Yesterday we have a little bit that personally I have given a little bit focus on the mixed, and in mixed economy, as you know, that both private and social welfare are being addressed by the administration or by the establishment. But in the concept of social economy, it's only the social welfare of each stakeholder and the economic upliftment of each stakeholder is a very important aspect of that thing. So
Good morning, sir.
good morning, good morning, Harshita. Good morning, Harshita. So yesterday I have given little bit typical light on the concept of mixed economy. Under mixed economy, we know that the both private and the social aspects being addressed by the administration or by the establishment. But here in the today's that chapter which I have decided to discuss with you, that the concept of social economy, which is very important, and how the actually entire that meaning and the understanding about this particular topic will discuss in in a daily life. Today, the objectives of discussing this particular that social economy concept is that to learn about the meaning and concept of social economy and the feature of what are the important features of the social economy. These all are the things those we are going to discuss today. So first, let us have a discussion on the meaning and meaning of socialist economy. The word socialism means all things to all, man and woman. According to Samuelson, socialism refers to the government ownership of the means of production, planning by the government, and income distribution. It means everything is being by the government for the people of the country. Socialist means the system under which economic system is controlled and regulated by the government so as to ensure fair and equal opportunity to the people in a society. It means the government itself ensuring the equal opportunity to each individual and the stakeholders in the economy of the country. So main features, what are the main features of the social economy? Let us have a one by one. First, I'll elaborate all the features, and then I'll discuss one by one in little bit brief. In little brief, the main feature of socialist economy are as follows: collective ownership. Then the second one is economic, social, and political equality. Third one is economic planning, no competition, positive role of government, work is according to ability and needs, and maximum social welfare. So these are the few features, and now I'll discuss one by one in little brief. Collective ownership. This is the first that feature which is very important, that in socialism all means of production are owned by the community. In example, government and individual can hold private property beyond the certain, which means only the basic amenities the individual can have out of his own. Otherwise, everything is of the government, and it can be used for the society. And no individual can hold private property beyond a certain limit. Therefore, it is government who utilizes these resources. Whatever the resources are there in the nature or in the country, they are utilized. They are being solely governed by the government in the interest of the social welfare. How they can uplift the all the economic aspects, social aspects, and all the aspects of the people of the country. Then the second, that's social and political equality. In social economy, under socialism, there is almost equality between rich and poor. It means there is no that much demarcation in between poor as far as the social that thing is concerned. No problem of class struggle like that. There is no backward, there is no forward, there is no schedule, there is no stripes. So this is not like that. Everything, everyone is having equal opportunity, and the government is taking care of all the stakeholders equally. So this is the very important thing, that economic, social, and political equality. It means everyone is having the equal right. Everyone is having the equal mandate. So this kind of that situation, which is very ideal, and nowhere existing in the world. But in social economy, it was explained like that. Economic planning. Under socialism, government fixes certain objectives. In order to achieve these objectives, develops economic planning. All type of decisions regarding the central problem of economy are taken into the economic plans. There is a central planning authority who plans for the economy. It means there is a centralized approach in that country. It can be easily done in the small country, but it's very difficult while we have a different set of people, different religions are there. Then we have a little bit difficulty in operating the things in under a central authority, which is almost impossible. That's why you know that in the world we will see that the countries, those who are having the there are different set of people, different followers of the religion, different languages. So in that case, it's very difficult to we have a one that central authority who is responsible for all the aspects of. Well, on certain aspects, we can have the consensus through the federal that structure which states or which with the stakeholders of the country they agreed upon. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So some that human laws, some the basic laws, civilian laws, criminal laws, you can form and you can establish them in the form of the central authorities. Otherwise, the states, because of their own that identity they are having, and they have their own entity also. So on the basis of that, they are supposed to govern their region as per their choices and their democratic demand. So this kind of that situation, that economic planning can be done. Then central can facilitate resources, whatever the resources which is having in his control. He can equally distribute the resources, allocation of resources as per the need and the demand of the state. So this kind of that collective that economic planning is there in the social economy. No competition. Because unlike capitalistic economy, that everyone is having the equal opportunity to where the financial sound people they can have more strength because of the resources they are having in their hand. So kind of thing is not here in the social economy, because nothing is of that the up to a minimum that government will decide that these are the things those you can cap with you. Otherwise, everything that generally being governed by the government, so there is no competition like that thing is there. It means lack of competition. But so if whatever the government decides that can be done over here. Then positive role of government. In socialism, government plays significant role in decision making. Thus, government has complete control over economic activities like distribution, exchange, consumption, investment, and foreign trade, etc. It means everything is over here being governed by the government. So this is positive role of the government. So every problem being solved by the government or the authority which they have decided to be responsible for the upliftment. Now, the sixth and very important, that work and wages according to ability and need. In social economy, work is according to ability and wage according to need. It is said that under socialism, for each according to his ability and to each according to his is the socialism. But it is theoretically it's very easy to assess all these things. But in the highly populated that the mass we are handling, then it's almost impossible. So that is in, in general that when we generally see that the socialism is a very best that the way of monitoring the society or the country. But it's practically it's very difficult to have this kind of thing over here. Then the maximum social welfare, the clarity is here that social economy, the role objective of socialism is the maximum social welfare of the society. It means that no scope of exploitation of labor. This is the situation where there is no such type of that exploitation and harassment of the middle class observed over here. So this is very important thing that for which everybody is struggling in the world. Now, check on economic inequalities. Yes, through socialism, we can build such type of that situation where we can have the check and balance. In this system, government takes several measures to reduce the gap in between the rich and poor, because they have opportunity to tax the rich, they have opportunity to give the relaxation to the poorer and the weaker section of society, and through progressive taxation on income and wealth. The subsidies are given. Also, they can given the relaxation in the form of the subsidies, in the form of the incentives are given to the poor people, and also job opportunities are provided to them. Other steps like concessions, old age pension, free medical facilities, and free education are also taken to improve the standard of poor people. Hence, all these help to reduce the economic inequalities. Yes, up to certain extent, it is this right that through this process, government can have opportunity to reduce the inequality among the society. Control of monopoly power. Under this system, government takes huge incentives to control monopoly among the private entrepreneurs through effective legislation measures. Besides, government can also take over these services in public interest. Take over these services in the interest of the also can take over services in the public interest. So these are the few that features those we have discussed over here. If we adopt the social economy in papers, it's good. It's like very good because thing is being done by the government, and the government, the final objective is that there is no difference. The objective is that to reduce and to nullify the differences between the rich and poor, or weak or poor, weak and the strong segment of the society. But the most drawback of this system is that because in this system it looks like that the people, those who are having the resources, they are being harassed at every step of the life, so of their lifespan. Because if we they feel that everything, if the quality is being compromised because of the social that approach which we are having, so in that case, actually the development was hindered and being affected adversely because the brain drain started in that case. In the situation of brain drain, it means the people, those who are highly educated, or those who are having the highly resources, because of that unfavorable and the approach of the state, they started investing in the country because free trade was available over there. So in that case, these are the few drawbacks of this social economy. Those we have discussed time and again, and we'll discuss later on. So if you have any question, you please ask me. Yes, Harshita, do you have a question? Hello, Harshita, can you hear me? Harshita, can you hear me, Harshita?